Welcome back to Nourish Senior Life. I'm Al Chambers and this is Eve Laws with Sayers. And we are going to cook you up some educational and delicious meals today.
So I'm going to be making up a lovely strawberry bruschetta on a goat cheese crostini.
And I'm going to make up a kale and quinoa salad here for Seniors Month. And we're so excited to have everybody here, and let's get started.
It is crucial to healthy aging. I feel like it helps people stay functional, stay independent, stay enjoying life. So if we don't use it, we lose it. That's what I say to all my clients. So let's use it so you don't lose it. And it helps people stay safe as well. So by moving and staying flexible and strong, you're less likely to have a fall, and you're more likely to be able to continue to enjoy the things that you like to do. Physio looks different for every individual. So the first thing I do is I'll do an assessment with the client to figure out where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, what their goals are, and then we come up with a program that's going to address those needs. So a typical day would involve usually greeting a patient and getting started on whatever sort of exercise program makes the most sense for them. So sometimes that's working on balance or coordination. Sometimes we're strengthening, sometimes we're stretching. Hopefully a combination of all those things, but it really depends on the client's needs. I feel like we start to lose our physical capacities when we get busy, right? So I certainly personally noticed a difference as soon as I had little ones in my life, that you have less time for some of those things, but it's so important to try to make that time, because a little bit now goes a long way when we age, in terms of keeping our bones strong as well as our muscles. I would say try to keep in mind that every little bit counts. So maybe you don't have time for an hour workout, but maybe you have time for a 5 or a 10-minute walk. So every little bit counts, so try to do the best you can, and don't be too hard on yourself. Maybe today isn't the day that you do a big workout, but tomorrow you could do something bigger, right? Exercise is crucial in maintaining bone health. We need weight bearing on our bones, and we need our muscles to be pulling on our bones to stimulate the bones to be stronger. So without that weight bearing, without that activity, our bones tend to deteriorate. And we're sort of, especially for women, we're at our maximum bone health sort of late 20s into our 30s, yes. So again, that importance of trying to stay as active as we can. And as a physiotherapist, I can kind of come in and look at what does that look like for a patient. A lot of my people that are interested in improving bone health, we're doing things like using urban poles. So we're getting weight bearing not just through the legs, but as you move your arms, you're getting the weight bearing through your upper extremities and through your upper back, and so that all contributes to better bone health. I find sometimes with seniors, they remember what they used to do to be active, and they think that, you know, now as I age and I can't do those things, that there's not really anything else that I'm really interested in. So a lot of times for them, we're looking at pulling in function. So every physical movement can be considered an exercise. So to find something that's meaningful around your home that you'd like to do again, we can turn that into an exercise. And maybe you can't do it right away, but through repetition and training, you can achieve those things. So we have to keep in mind that exercise might not look the same now as we get older as it did when we were younger, and that's okay. We can find different things that you enjoy.
Thanks everybody for coming again to Nourish Senior Life. Let's do our kale and quinoa salad. It's a wonderful summer dish. Seniors Month, so it's nice, light, healthy. And we're gonna put a little bit of olive oil in our pan, which is already quite hot. And saute up some onions. Just let that move it around a little bit. So we're gonna put in here just one onion, and we're gonna saute it up until it gets a little bit brown, about 2 to 3 minutes. Move it around a lot so it doesn't stick to the pan and get the oil kind of all over everything. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in the quinoa and brown it while we chop up the kale. And this is a great dish because kale is one of the most nutrient-rich plants on the whole planet. It's full of all kinds of different vitamins, magnesium, potassium. Really very good for you. It's a dark green leaf vegetable. Usually the darker the green, the better the vegetable. Now that we got that onion broken up and it's starting to show a little bit of brown, we're going to put in our 1 cup of quinoa, and we're just going to whisk it around quite a bit so that it doesn't overcook, but we want to brown it up. So I kind of dubbed this recipe down a little bit. It does call usually for 2 cups of quinoa and 1.5 cups of water. So I just did 1 cup of quinoa and 3/4 cup of water. And then I'm going to put a little bit extra kale in it. And just keep moving it around so that you don't overcook some and undercook some. And we're just going for a light brown, and this is white quinoa, but we're just going to turn it into a little bit of a light brown color. So about 3/4 cup of water. To get that moving, stir it in. And then we're going to reduce it to a simmer. Get that quinoa cooking. It's already boiling pretty good, so we're going to reduce that right down. So I like to try and get the spines off of the kale so that you don't get large hard parts in there. And we got a little more kale here than we really need, because we've kind of cut the dish in half. So we're going to do, it generally calls for 3 cups of kale, so we're going to do about 1.5 cup. And then I'm going to roughly chop it, but still make it a little bit small, so it spreads around on the dish nice. So I like to try and get the spines off of the kale so that you don't get large hard parts in there. And we got a little more kale here than we really need, because we've kind of cut the dish in half. So we're going to do, it generally calls for 3 cups of kale, so we're going to do about 1.5 cup. And then I'm going to roughly chop it, but still make it a little bit small, so it spreads around on the dish nice. Let's put this in. Mix that all in together. Oh, that really absorbed the water fast. We're going to put a little more water in there. Okay. And there it is. Nice, beautiful mixture. Just let it all soak up. All right. Put the lid back on that. And for our sauce here, we're going to put in just about a teaspoon or tablespoon of Dijon mustard, a third of a cup of red wine vinegar, and then we're going to stir in very slowly about 2 to 3 ounces of olive oil, and we're going to whisk it to try and emulsify it. And then we're also going to put in a little bit of salt and pepper for taste. So about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard in with the red wine vinegar. And you can see it's already turning a nice kind of creamy color. Then we're going to put in the salt and pepper. So this is going to add some flavor to the dish. And I am actually going to pop this open and add a little bit of salt and pepper to that too. All right, keep that cooking for a few more minutes. And then as we're doing this, we want to just slowly stir in the olive oil while we continue to whisk and try and emulsify it a little bit.
What does emulsify mean?
Emulsify, when you get two things that mix together and they almost foam. That's kind of what emulsifying means. So you're trying to whisk it constantly to do this. It's the same sort of thing that they do when they make eggs Benedict to make that nice yellow cream sauce. Put tarragon in with egg yolk and whisk it really consistently in order to bring them together. And the reason why it's called emulsifying is because olive oil doesn't actually mix very well with red wine vinegar. So if you don't stir it consistently and cause it to emulsify, then your sauces would be considered broken, where it would separate from each other.
So is it something that's better to do by hand then?
I think so. I like to do everything by hand. So we'll keep that going like that, and I'll keep stirring that in just a second here. We'll see how this is going. Yeah, looks good. Give that a couple more minutes to soak up the water. And I'll just keep stirring my sauce. So you can see it's a nice consistency. If I let this sit for too long, the olive oil would start to separate. And it smells nice. And then we're gonna add, when we put this all together, we're gonna add some pine nuts. You can use any kind of nuts that you want in this dish. I like pine nuts, it's really nice and soft. It's Seniors Month. It's easier to eat. Slivered almonds are great, but they can be sharp and hard to chew. And then we're gonna add some lovely Parmesan to it to add a little bit of extra flavor. And it kind of gives everything that a good salad should have, in my opinion, a nut and cheese in it. And then a really nice vinaigrette style dressing. So we're gonna take this off the heat. Put it right on my cutting board here and just kind of stir it to get a little bit of the heat out of it. And then we're gonna slowly drizzle in our sauce and mix it around. You know, this sauce has a pretty strong flavor, so you don't have to put a whole lot in here, and then you want to try and mix it in really good. I was going to say I should try it, I guess, eh? We could afford to put a little more sauce in. Nice and light. Let's put these into some bowls, add a little bit of pine nuts and Parmesan, and let everybody try it.
Pine nuts look so lovely here.
Pine nuts are just wonderful.
Oh my gosh. Cheese and wine vinegar and
Olive oil,
olive oil.
red wine vinegar, and Dijon mustard.
Dijon
And a
mustard.
little bit of salt and pepper in the sauce.
And it's so simple to make.
It's pretty simple to make. It's just the cooking time of the quinoa takes about 18 minutes.
So good. You should try some. Oh my God.
Thank you, Al, for that amazing kale quinoa salad. And now I'm going to make a bruschetta, but this is a twist on bruschetta because it's actually made with local strawberries. So it's one of my favorite appetizers. That's pretty healthy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our crostinis. So what I did is I took an ace baguette and just cut it into slices. And then on top, we're gonna add goat cheese. So I'm a big fan of goat cheese. I actually like the light goat cheese because it has 12% milk fat, and you want to try to pick a cheese with 20% milk fat or less. A lot of cheeses are more 30 to 35, and I find with goat cheese you don't feel like you're sacrificing the taste, right? Because some low-fat cheese does not taste good. So gonna take our lovely goat cheese, and you want to let it soften a little bit, and then we're just gonna take a little bit out, and then you're just gonna spread a thin layer on your crostini. And as I said, I'm a big goat cheese fan. Some people don't like goat cheese. You can do cream cheese instead if you'd rather do that. Another option is you can put it on after you roast the crostini, but I find I like to put it on before because the cheese kind of gets warm and nice. Okay, and I'll keep a couple plain in case people don't like goat cheese. So I pre-set the oven to 450, and we're gonna put them in for about 7 to 10 minutes until they're nice and golden. And in that time, we're gonna make our strawberry bruschetta. Anything with a crostini is good, so love it. So for the strawberry bruschetta, it's honestly the simplest thing ever. So instead of tomatoes, you use strawberries. So it's kind of a sweet twist on it. So I got some lovely local strawberries. They're in season right now. Strawberries, people think berries are really high in sugar, but berries are actually lower in sugar than other fruits like apples and pears and stuff like that. So it's a really good option if you are watching your sugar to choose berries. They're high in fiber and lots of vitamin C too. And they also have phytonutrients that really help with helping prevent cancer and heart disease and that kind of stuff. So just cut off the ends, obviously. And then for the bruschetta, you want it kind of smaller cut. So then cut it into slices. And then you go this way. And you make small little bite-sized pieces, just like this. Mix that in our bowl. So you can do a whole package of strawberries or just half. So today I'm just doing half. So it's half a pound of strawberries. I loved going strawberry picking as a kid, but I swear I ate more strawberries than I paid for. It's so hard when you go strawberry picking. You just want to eat all the strawberries. Okay, so there we got our lovely strawberries cut up nice and fine. And then you can use your favorite herb. So today I'm using basil because I love basil. Quarter cup of basil. When you're cutting basil, the best way to do it, I find, is to roll it in a little ball and then kind of go like this. It's kind of called chiffonade. There we go. Then it's in nice little pieces. Beautiful. I love the smell of fresh basil. It smells like summer. That's what we're all about. Okay, so in our bowl, we are going to add our half a pound of cut up diced strawberries, and we are going to add our basil. And then for this kind of seasoning, we're actually going to use a balsamic glaze. Now, you can always reduce the balsamic vinegar yourself, but nobody really has time for that. So we just get this simple, easy. You don't need much because it is concentrated, right? All the water's been evaporated out of it. So just a couple tablespoons, and we're going to drizzle some on at the end anyway. So you don't want to go overboard because it is kind of strong because it's been reduced. So about 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending on how acidic you like your bruschetta. I might add a little bit more, but as I said, I'm going to actually drizzle it. That's what's fun about this, if you're like a chef. So you can drizzle your balsamic on at the end. Ooh, smells good. Okay, so hopefully our bruschetta will be ready, or our crostinis. So just take that out of the oven. Here we go. So they're nice and warm. If you like them more golden, you can leave it in for a couple more minutes, but to me, I like it like this. It's just nice and warm, soft to the touch, good to go. Okay, so from there, we're just gonna add our delicious strawberry mixture, and then we're gonna have fun putting the glaze on it, because that's the funnest part. All right, so I'm just gonna take our strawberry mixture, put it on top of the crostinis, just about a tablespoon on each, or how much ever will actually stay on without falling. And the goat cheese kind of acts as a little bit of a glue to keep it on. And honestly, if you're doing, if you're hosting this summer, having a barbecue, this dish definitely impresses the guests, and it uses local ingredients. So I'm all about that. Perfect. And then here's a couple just without the goat cheese, if you prefer it without goat cheese. Just doesn't stick on as well. And then the funnest part is putting on more balsamic glaze, because then you feel so fancy. So then we just drizzle like that. Obviously you can put it on a serving dish as well to make it look fancy. So who wants to try? All right, let's give it a try. I think it's gonna be good. We have our fine taste testers. All right, there we go. Always building on us. They're always good at letting me know their critique.
Too bad, all the people could come and taste such a delicious meal.
I know, you're gonna tell them after, right?
Appetizer sent.
Yeah, I love crostinis. Oh, they're so good.
Oh my gosh,
Unusual.
amazing.
How do you like it?
Delicious with the strawberries and goat cheese.
Have you ever had strawberries
With this
on
thing?
bruschetta?
No.
No.
No, it's a different way to do it, eh?
Yeah.
Never. Oh, strawberries, delicious with goat cheese.
Yes. Some people don't like goat cheese. Do you like goat cheese, Sue?
Oh, I love any kind of cheese.
Yeah, it's like a tangy cheese, but it's good. What do
Is it a
you?
mint?
It's basil.
Basil. Oh,
Yeah, I love basil with fruit. It actually goes really good together.
wonderful, tasty. So
I'm not crazy about it, okay.
You're not crazy about the goat cheese? That's okay.
oh my gosh.
Do you like the
Never.
strawberries?
Yeah.
I eat a lot of blueberries.
Nice. Well, that's why you're nice and healthy, right?
No,
No. Well, blueberries are super healthy for
I
you.
only eat 2 meals a day.
Oh, you only do 2 a day? Plus a healthy snack, right? That's why you come here to get some healthy snacks.
Very good.
Yes, well, thank you for trying.